When we check our site for visual differences with Playwright, sometimes we don't want to check the whole page and we just want to ignore parts of it or just focus on other parts. This video is going to show you how to do that. So let's start with the simplest possible of visual regression tests where we have our page, we're just checking it against an existing screenshot. In this case, I'm checking the page Hacker News. You can take a look at my screenshot right here. And you might be able to guess from that screenshot what the problem is going to be when I try to run my check. So I don't have this limited to one device. It's going to run it for all three common device types. They all fail. Let's take a look. So when we scroll down and take a look, boy, it's like a whole chunk of the page isn't matching. And that makes some sense, right? If we take a look at that screenshot, right, this is a social media site, and the articles that are displayed are going to vary every time we go back and reload it. So it's not going to match visually. Okay, let's take a look at the Hacker News page and see if we could select these things to selectively ignore, or in the Playwright terminology, mask them. Let's go ahead and inspect this. And okay, well, these are just anchor tags, spans, and then this guy's maybe a little too limited. So we move up, we move up. We find this class A thing, and that seems to apply to a couple of the rows here. And sure enough, if we go ahead and inspect something else, we'll see, yeah, we have that same class here. Okay, let's give that a try and use that to mask. If we take a look back in our check, we have some space here to add a parameter. And in this case, we can add a value for mask, which takes a selector. And so we'll feed it anything with this class, anything that is a table row that has this class, there's a child that has that class. And let's take a look. Let's save that. Change. Now, since we're changing what we're checking on the page, we're going to need to run the update snapshots command. And if we take a look at what those snapshots look like, you'll see that mask in action. So I think we can imagine that now these tests will pass, right? Because we're ignoring these components. Now it might be, let's see if this passes now for all three. Yep, sure enough, they pass. Fantastic. So this is, on this page, I chose this example because this is not perfect, right? If somebody tweaks something like the spacing between these articles, or maybe one of the titles just has a lot of characters and it expands it out a little bit, this is going to fail. So one of the options we could do is we could go in and set what the max pixel ratio difference is. Right now, it's defaulting, but if we want to just focus in on one piece, let's say we just want to focus in on that toolbar at the top, let's take a look back at the Hacker News page and go ahead and inspect that and try and find a selector that'll work. Okay, we see this page top seems very encouraging as a class. So let's go back into our checks. Let's go ahead and uncomment out this second test that we wrote. And so here, instead of just expecting a whole page, we give it a selector and then give it that screenshot command. And we give it a separate name because we don't want it just named after that check. So let's save these changes and go ahead and update our snapshots. Okay, and if we take a look at our previous snapshots, we see we're just focused in on that header. So I bet that if we run this now, all of these will pass. Two different visual tests. And you'll see that occasionally, right, this system of just ignoring individual table rows, right, it does not work perfectly. Again, probably the spacing change or the text changes. So that's why we might want to use the tests here where we're focused in on just the header, right? Because those did pass in this run. So these ones where we're focused in may be a little more reliable if we just want to get one section of the page that we want to check. And if we want to ignore pieces, we want a nice big box of what we're ignoring. Okay, that's been either ignoring components or focusing on components with your visual regression checks with Playwright. Hope it was useful. Check out our other videos to see more.